Hello again. Now the main stories in London. Two groups of protesters clashed outside a children's drag Storytime in Forest Hill this morning. Turning Point UK claimed the act was too provocative for children, but the drag act That Girl accused the far-right group of being homophobic. 4 people have since been arrested. Akbar reports.
Fascist scum off our streets. The chant rang out for a good 10 minutes. It was directed at this right-wing group, Turning Point UK. They turned up here to demonstrate against a drag queen reading to children at a nearby pub. They were heavily outnumbered. We tried to speak to one of its members when a counter-protester broke through the wall of police.
We came over here to speak to some of the members of Turning Point UK who stood over here, and while we were doing so, a massive crowd of counter-protesters amassed here, and what's happened since is, sorry we're being moved, what's happened since is that both sides have been chanting slogans at each other and a couple of things have been thrown as well. So what started off as a very peaceful protest has gotten quite heated.
In a post calling their members to Forest Hill, the group said children should not be exposed to what they call adult performers.
The social media profiles of these individuals is very questionable. So why do children need to be in front of that?
Well, I guess he would argue that it's not provocative and then he's just in makeup.
But it is. It's not just in makeup at all.
When we spoke to That Girl later on, she said her event and her intentions were misrepresented.
A drag story time, I'm sat there in a chair reading a story. There's nothing more going on than that. I don't think it's ever really been about protecting the children. I think this is homophobia dressed up as concern.
Outside the pub where she was performing, a far less hostile atmosphere. There, people told us why they turned up.
Because I live in Lewisham and I don't want this happening on my doorstep.
It's just important to turn up and be like, hey, we're normal and nice and the majority, and it's chill.
Today's protests come weeks after similar scenes at a storytelling event at the Tate Britain. Somehow, this clash seems far from over. Akbar, ITV News.